This show is brought to you by PivX, private instant verified transactions. With its groundbreaking zero-coin staking and masternodes, PivX is the top privacy currency. Feel free to trade some on Binance or Bittrex. And for more information, go to www.pivx.org. Hello and welcome to ITK Crypto. Now that is In the Know Crypto. Now you've always heard our podcast in the past known as Token TV. Well, very exciting times for us. We've expanded, and with that expansion has come a name change. So from now on, we'll be ITK Crypto, but still is bringing you the great content we always have done, and actually a little bit better. And that starts with our guest today. Now, first of all, it's me, Tom White, alongside Cryptosi, as usual. You'll hear from him in a moment. But our first guest in this new brand, our new name, is Alphaeus of OEX. Alphaeus, it is great to have you on.
Yes, it's great to have you guys too, man. This is a new thing. It's a great pleasure that I can come on board and join you guys in this podcast.
Well, I can assure you the pleasure is all ours. Isn't that right, Cryptosi?
Yeah, it's great to have Alphaeus with us and great to finally hear from an exchange, because we've done loads of podcasts and the exchanges are pivotal to crypto. They're absolutely instrumental. So it's great to have one of the biggest exchanges out there on our podcast. So yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, and Alphaeus is going to explain all about OEX in just a moment. But Alphaeus, if you can just start by telling us what your working background was prior to being involved in crypto.
I came from a financial background. I was a day-to-day trader in Singapore stocks market for a good 2 years. And I got to know crypto back by one of my friends who was a crypto trader back then. And it came to my attention during the 2017 craze where the crypto market boomed. And I was like shell-shocked because I was from a conventional trading and I didn't know much about crypto. So he brought me on board to get to know more about the crypto markets.
Yeah, and now you're involved in OEX. So what is that? I know that Cryptosi and I have been particularly looking forward to telling our listeners a lot more about kind of what an exchange is and stuff. So tell us about OEX.
So OEX has been in cooperation since the second quarter of 2017. So OEX started from a very humble background. We started from the tech side, the back end, and we took about a year before we actually developed the exchange. Because we all know that exchanges, there's a lot of components to it. There's the front, there's the tech team, there's even the interface. It all must run smoothly before everything can be in operation. So it actually took us about a year before we actually incorporate ourselves in Singapore, and our headquarters is in Singapore. And that's how we started off. We started off from a very humble background, and I got to join them in the early days when they were only about 5 months old. And I've been with them ever since.
And Cryptosi, I just want to ask you, because there's a lot of people who, as we know, who listen to this podcast, some people are experts and some people are beginners. Can you maybe just explain, maybe with the help of Alphaeus, what an exchange is for those newcomers?
Okay, so an exchange in crypto terms is very similar to an exchange in the traditional stock market. If you go onto an exchange, you can buy and sell different stocks. And in this case of a crypto exchange, you can buy and sell different cryptos. So for example, if you go onto OEX, you could buy Bitcoin, and you can sell Ethereum. So it just gives people a place to always be able to buy and sell their crypto. If you think back to our first podcast, our introduction, you did say to me, if you have this Bitcoin and its value increases, how do you then sell it? And one of the main ways to do this would be to go onto an exchange and then sell. A lot of these exchanges have fiat for sale, so you can exchange your Bitcoin for pounds or euros or Japanese yen or whatever it may be. So so in a nutshell, that is what an exchange is. That's the basics.
Okay, and Alphaeus, if we move on to like project listing, it's always difficult, but very important for projects. What's the process of getting listed on OEX?
For OEX, we have 4 levels of intervention, I would say. Firstly, we will send you the application form for every project. So all the projects, whether they are recent ICOs or they have been established mainnet for a period of time, we all need all their details in details. And what else? We do take note is the legal opinion and also the code audit report. So what is the code audit report? It's like it's a verification where you send to a third party to vet all your codes. There will be no bugs. For example, ERC20 Ethereum base, where there has been a lot of, I would say, copy machines. Why do I call them copy machines? Is that they copy the codes and then they just add a few numbers and then make it their own code, where hackers can easily identify them, and then that's why you see some of the exchanges get hacked, and yes, so on and so forth. So in OEX, we have these three level of so-called verification before, and also the KYC of the CEO of the board of the project for any projects to get listed on us.
What you're saying is you've got three separate platforms.
Oh yes, OEX does have three separate platforms. So currently we have the OEX.top, where it's catered for the Chinese users in China. And also we have OEX.com, which is for all over the world, and OEX VIP. What's the main difference between OEX and OEX VIP? It's just that you can think of OEX.com as the version 1 of an iPhone, and OEX VIP is the version 3.0 of an iPhone, which is like the latest iPhone, where we decided to have this so that OEX VIP has a nicer interface, has a nicer trading platform for all our users to use.
So, yeah, Cryptosi and I, by the way, Alphaeus, we would only ever be considered VIPs. I can assure you. I can assure you.
Oh, then you'll be in you'll be very happy because as of this week, I think the end of next week, OEX VIP platform will be integrated to OEX.com, and the old version of OEX.com will be removed totally. So now what you see on OEX VIP is going to be on OEX.com next week.
Ah, fantastic. Right. That's breaking news here on ITK Crypto. Alphaeus, a lot of people are talking about GUSD, that token. Now, you're one of the first exchanges to be trading that token. What's the thinking behind listing it, and what are your views towards stable coins?
For me, GUSD is the first and will not be the last, because we have packs that will be coming on board of us next week and also DAI in the following month. So why did we list GUSD? It's mainly because of their strong backing from the government, where they have very strong relationship. They even took 7 years before the approval from the government. And yes, we actually met the person in charge of the listing for GUSD a couple of months back in Consensus in Singapore. It was a very smooth transition, and we really value GUSD to a very huge extent. That's why we wanted them to be our first stablecoin and to be our first partners on OEX.
Alphaeus, sorry, Tommy, could I just jump in there? Alphaeus, going back to the listing process, and you mentioned about a code audit, independent code audits being done. Now, do you have a set group of people who you would class as auditors that are allowed or qualified to do this audit, or could a project go and get an audit done from any independent source? How does that work?
For us, we have a few partners, and for us, we usually use Certic, who is their formal verification platform for smart contracts and blockchain ecosystem. And we have a few partners that do the code audit report. So yes, we do have some partners that we refer them to the projects. But if they have their own independent code audit report verification, it's okay. We will still vet it because we have like 2 layers of scanning through, so to speak, at this point of time.
Okay. And with regards to the CEO of a project being you vetting them with a know your customer, which is KYC. What if the project itself doesn't have a CEO? So like most famously, Bitcoin itself doesn't have a CEO. So with something like that, how would you cross that bridge?
For us, okay, for Bitcoin, we don't talk about Bitcoin because Bitcoin, we could not even source back 10 years ago. However, it's 10 years ago. So what we can right now is that because all the projects, they either have like somebody leading the project. So normally we will look for the person in charge of the project. Let's just say just now you said that some of them has like, there's no CEO. There's definitely someone leading the project. So we'll definitely approach the person who is like mainly in charge of it. They do not necessarily have to be the CEO.
Okay, that makes sense. And one last thing, I guess, is with regards to the GUSD, which is, I believe, it's the Gemini stablecoin, right, from the Winklevoss twins.
Yes, yes.
With regards to that, was there any particular reason why you went for that one as opposed to maybe Tether or another type of stablecoin?
There's actually no particular reason. It's just so happened it's the right time. It's also I would say, it's really the timing coincide with us between the person in charge of GUSD and us, because we have been approached by 3 other stable coins such as USDT and TUSD and USDC, but we never really take note because we really look at the GUSD background. They came from, they took a long way. Their connection is so strong, and we believe that they are the right partners at that point of time. So GUSD will, like I said, will not be the first. There will be many other stable coins, but of course we will definitely look through the stable coin before we have them on board with us.
Yeah, it's interesting they're talking about GUSD because it is such big news. But what else is big news at the moment, very big news, is exchange hacks. Now, have you at OEX taken extra precautions against this scenario? Because it's happening often.
This podcast has been brought to you by Rhubarb Media. Rhubarb Media are the branding specialists behind successful crypto projects such as PivX, Vendible, and Libertaria. The Rhubarb style is both loved and respected the world over. So if you want your project to appeal to techies and everyday users alike, give Rhubarb Media a try. You cannot possibly be disappointed. Link is in the description.
Actually, it just happened last week. I believe there's a Canadian exchange that got hacked. But like I said, no exchange is perfect. I believe if a hacker want to hack an exchange, they'll find all ways and all means. However, we of course take a very serious precaution in whatever projects that we bring in. So all our KYC will be in very detailed before we have them on board of us. Like I said, the 3 level of verification, and after that, the code audit side of like the project is also very important. That's why for every project, we must insist to see the code audit report and also any legal opinions that they have before we actually bring them on board of us.
So you're fairly confident that you're kind of exchange hack proof, I suppose.
We are not exchange hack proof. I can definitely guarantee you that, because not even Binance or even Huobi can assure you that they won't get hacked in the near future. But of course, like we said, nothing is for sure, but we can take a necessary precaution, and we see how it goes, because we have been established for more than 1.5 years, and we hope to be established for as long as we can, because I think all our users are valuable assets to us, and we, of course, in turn, we want to help the users to trade on us safely, and yeah, it works both ways.
Yeah, well, Alphaeus, we interview a lot of people on ITK crypto, and it was a really interesting one a few weeks back. Crypto, still remember it, where we were talking about the kind of attitude towards crypto in Canada, and it was really quite positive. The Canadian government were very much open to crypto, but what's it like in China? Because we're led to believe that the government are very hostile towards it.
At this point of time, I would say that crypto is actually quite hard to get into China. I mean, the government is very strict about it, I would say, because back in 2017, there is this meltdown, I would say. They actually banned ICOs. So, like, a lot of exchanges probably died inside China because they could not support, because the government is not supportive of the idea of even blockchain and cryptocurrency. So I believe there's a meltdown in China. That's why a lot of exchanges move elsewhere, abroad. However, like I said, blockchain as a technology is still a very substantial thing. It is going to be the future. So, of course, even though the crypto in China is not that doing very well at this point of time, but I believe they are accepting blockchain as a technology. So like Alibaba, they are also creating their own blockchain technology to incorporate payment, whatever. So yes, crypto may not survive well in China, but I believe the blockchain technology does survive well in China.
Well, why do you think that the government are so against it? Why did they block ICOs, for instance? Do they give any reason? I suppose they don't have to.
I mean, it's quite common to see a lot of scams in China, actually. For out of 10 ICOs, probably 7 to 8 could be a fake. I mean, it's not for me to say, but this is what I presume. That's why ICO is seen, the government seen it as money flowing out of China. So they actually took a precaution not to allow ICOs to boom in China. That's what I believe in. But I'm not sure of the actual answer, and I also cannot give you the actual answer because I'm really not too sure about it myself.
Yeah, it sounds there like they might even be doing it as protection for the people, but who knows? I suppose if we kind of broaden it out, and this is a question we always ask Alphaeus, where do you see crypto being in 12 months' time, and where do you fit into that?
Cryptocurrency is currently in the bear market, like stocks market also, because it's there's trade wars going on, and cryptocurrency not being fully regulated. For the next few months, I hope that because each and every country has their own sets of rules, so if they could reach a consensus where all over the world they can reach agreement on a particular, for example, a particular law that Bitcoin can change to fiat and is recognized everywhere, then I would see the crypto market moving upwards. Or not now, currently the stagnant market, I would see probably still heading downwards, but who knows? I mean, I just hope that as a crypto investor myself and also a blockchain believer, I hope that you will, of course, get better and better and one day fly to the moon, as crypto people like to say.
In crypto, see, we always have different answers to that one, but one for you, since we've started doing this, have you noticed a kind of a downward turn in cryptocurrency? Or is it kind of leveled off, maybe leveled off more than anything?
Yeah, because I guess when we started, it was maybe 6 months ago. So we were quite far into the bear market, although nobody was saying it was a bear market. Everybody was kind of seeing it as a slight correction. So yeah, things have kind of been pretty much stagnant price-wise since we started. I guess it's moved maybe downwards 10 or 20% at the most. But technology-wise, things are still racing ahead. There are still loads of new projects coming out. There's loads of new technology coming out. So all in all, I would say crypto is still on the upward trajectory, I'd say.
Yeah, the new projects and stuff coming out. Does that in any way hinder is that why the prices are kind of leveling off?
I don't know. Because I guess Alphaeus would be a better person to ask. For me, the trading of crypto and the usage of crypto are two very different things. And a lot of the time, they're not even linked. A lot of cryptos could be very popular and not even being used. So I don't know. I guess I'd like to hear what Alphaeus thinks of that, actually.
Actually, I've seen so many projects, whether is it good or bad, because of this current trend where there's just too many ICOs. Sometimes I would say crypto investor like myself, we have trouble finding the right one unless we started the project we know the pre-ICO, the pre-sales and all the white papers is really to our fit. If not, it's we won't invest in each and every project. So that's why you might see that some projects might be, when it's more well known, then you start to trade heavily. But before that, I mean, you will stay stagnant. And this is my views on why some projects, even though it's good, it takes a while before it starts to become popular. In my opinion.
Okay, well, if you had to go all in on a project, which would it be? And you've got to stick to projects that have been released.
If I have to go all in on one project, I think that's a very interesting question because I invested in more than 20 ICOs. But I would say Vibe is would be one of the ICOs that I'll recommend people to take a look because it's talking about hologram and it's really the futuristic thing. And what they have accomplished so far for Vibe is really tremendous. I mean, I met the CEO. I know their product. And I think for me it's Vibe, but I think PVX and a few other good tokens it's all viable. It's all up to the traders themselves to really go and look into the white paper and really fully understand what they are doing and trying to accomplish. And that's why, for me, if I have to go on, I would say Vibe, but there's too many projects out there that would be a waste if I just invested in one, in my opinion.
But what do you think about that project, Cryptosi?
I've not heard of it. It's another one, like Alpha said, there are literally so many. So it's not one that I've heard of. But something that I do like to do is that when I come across somebody who is quite knowledgeable, quite experienced, and they have a particular pick, then that becomes something that I take an extra interest in. So it'll be something that I'll definitely do some research on.
Yeah. Sounds like giving some good advice there, Alpha.
No worries. You can always consult me. Free advice.
You might regret saying that, Alpha. So I'll be on the phone to you every day. Alpha, just to finish off with, where can people go to find out more about you and, of course, OEX?
Oh, you can find us on our Telegram. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook. That's where we are more popular in, and we always try to update our users day to day on what coins are coming to our platform to trade. And yes, we always want to partner with good projects only, but we also know that there will be too many projects that we will be partnering, and we'll never tell you the best project, but we will always give confidence to our users that whatever projects that's listed on us, it's there for the long term, not for the short term.
Alphas, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Cryptosi, for giving me this opportunity to be live with you guys. And thank you, Tommy. You've been such a good host.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This show is brought to you by PivX, private instant verified transactions. With its groundbreaking zero coin staking and masternodes, PivX is the top privacy currency. Feel free to trade some on Binance or Bittrex. And for more information, go to www.pivex.org.